Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well. We're going to be doing today, I'm just going to show you how to develop a sleeve pattern. I've already posted it onto the group page. It's a cowl sleeve. It's a drop shoulder, and it's got a cowl sleeve. Also, it's got a cuff, 2-inch cuff, and it's got some pleats which goes into the cuff. So I've already posted a photo of it. This is one that I did earlier, but I'm just going to go over to show you how you develop the pattern piece for it. So today we're going to be needing our blocks, the front block, the back block, and the sleeve block. So these three pieces, that's what we're going to use to develop the sleeve. So if you come along with me as we go through this, we need a fresh sheet of paper, whatever paper you use, brown paper, spot and cross, or plain paper. And we're going to start off with the front. We're going to mark off the front block. We're going to be getting rid of the dart at the side. We're going to throw it into the waist. And if you go back to the dart manipulation, you'll see how we've done that. So first of all, I'm going to mark around the sleeve from the waist, around the neck, and up to the side where the dart on the side is. So we mark up to there, and what we do is we're going to put our pencil or into the point of the dart there, and we're going to swing the pattern until the dart touches that point. And this is now the dart is gone into the waist, and we've got no darts along the side there. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing that back to the center front, and we're going to put a mark because we're going to draw the waist line in, and we're going to put the dart in from the waist. So we've just got one dart here. If you wanted to keep the dart on the waist, you could do that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to just keep the one that we have in the waist along here like that. So we mark those in, and we mark the line along there. So we've got that. So that's the pattern piece that we have, and we do exactly the same for the back. We're going to mark out the back section again from the waist point there, all along the neckline, shoulders, armhole, down side into there, and then we're going to put our dart shape in. You use the prodder or your pencil to get the marking on the other new sheet of paper, and don't forget to put your balance marking along there, and then we can put the blocks away because we've now marked off or copied off or traced off the parts that we need to create our pattern. So that's what we need. So the next stage we're going to do is we're going to extend the shoulder, because this is a drop shoulder design. So we extend the shoulder. You've got to decide in your mind how deep you want the shoulder to drop. So from the end of the shoulder points, you're going to measure out the amount that you need your shoulder to come out, right? Whether it's 7 centimeters, if it's 7 centimeters, 8 centimeters, you've got to measure that out. So whatever that is, and you put a mark, and you do the same thing on the back. Whatever the measurement is, you apply it to the back like that on that line that is extended, and you put a mark. So now the two shoulder lines, they've from the neck point to there has got to be the same measure. Okay, so you double check them to make sure that they are. So once we got that, we now have to, because now that is a drop shoulder. Drop shoulder, we've got to shape that back into the armhole because we want it to have that armhole look to the garment. So what we do is from there, we're just going to have a straight line down and we're going to curve that back into the armhole like that. So straight, and then we curved into there. Okay, and then we do the same thing. Take a straight line down as far as we can and curve it. We're going to curve back into the armhole there. So we've got that curve, and we can put now the balance line outside that line. So that is now our new line that we're going to be working on. So let me just highlight it up a bit more so that you can see it. So we're going to use that nice shape, and we're going to use this shape here because we've now extended. We now drop the shoulders of our block. It's dropped. Now if you wanted to do the same sleeve, and you want to do it from the end of the shoulder point, it's the same process, but I'm just going to show you one with the extended shoulder. So once we've got that, those are the pattern piece that we need. And then what we do is you add your seam allowance on. So basically you'd put a centimetre along there and a centimetre around your armhole, around that shape, and centimetre down your side. Or if it's a dress, a top, you continue it down on the back. If you want a seam in the back with a zip, if you're doing a dress, you add your seam allowance. If you don't, you keep it on the fold, right? So that's it. And then we just add your seam allowance around the neckline, and we'll just do that. So we only need 1/4 of an inch around the neck, and we connect up that point there. All right, so that would be your seam allowance on there. And then if you're doing a bodice and you're going to attach the skirt, you allow your seam allowance at the bottom. So it's basically the same thing on the top. On the front, you add your seam allowance round the neckline. If you're just having a round neckline, if you're having a different neckline, you still allow your seam allowance around there. And then you allow it around your armhole section as well, and down your side. So you come down the side like that and along the waist. And remember, this is your center front fold. That's the fold on the front there. And if you're having a zip in the back, you have to add seam allowance on there. So you've got to remember that. So that's what you do. So the thing that you're creating here is the extended shoulder, and you take it back into the armhole, extended shoulder back into there. So once you've done that, that's the body piece. So the next stage is we're going to go on to the sleeve, and we're going to trace off the sleeve. We're going to trace off the sleeve, the length that we want. We're doing a short sleeve. So we're going to go, and we're doing a 2-inch cuff. So once you decide the length of the sleeve that you want, you've got to minus the cuff that you're going to be using. So once again, we're going to measure off, we're going to copy off rather, trace off your sleeve round the head of your sleeve. We're going to put your notch in, and your notch in. We know that is the back. And also we've got to make sure we've got our grain line on there, because that's very important. That's very useful for us to have our grain line on there. So that is the grain line there. And then once we do it, we let's just connect up a grain line, and we got to decide how short we want the sleeve to be. So from the head of the sleeve, we're going to take it down we're going to make it whatever 10 inches, 9 inches, whatever the amount you want to make the sleeve to be, right? So and then you if it's 11 inches, you minus 2 inches, and whatever is left, you apply it from the top of the head of the sleeve, and you put a mark, and then you square the line out on there, so it's squared out like that. So that is the sleeve that you're going to require. So you can put your grain line on there, so it's a guide for you. So once you've got that, the next stage we're going to do is we're going to cut out that shape, and I'm going to cut those out, and then when we come back we go on to the next stage. So that's the first stage of creating the pattern pieces. So but before we go, I'll just want to mark on, because we're going to slash and spread, so I'm going to divide this into 3 sections. So I'll just mark the line on before we go, and then when we come back it'll be cut out, and then you'll see where we're at from that. Okay then, see you soon. Bye.